Okay, listen, pay attention, Africa. Pay attention, Akebulan. Let me teach you something very important. Something that will be useful to you when you want to defend your claim as a son and a daughter of Mother Akebulan. Pay attention. You see, we say that Ethiopia was not colonized by anyone. But Eurocentric historians usually claim that Ethiopia was colonized. You ask them why and how. They tell you because Italy occupied a part of Ethiopia between 1936 to 1941. Is that true? Yes, it is true. Ethiopia was occupied for 5 years, 1936 to 1941. Listen, I am going to dismantle and collapse that historical claim. Pay attention. You see, early this week, I was able to differentiate for you because when we say that Ethiopia is the only African country that was not colonized, some people say, what about Liberia? What about Liberia? I was able to show you the difference between what happened in Liberia and what happened in Ethiopia. And you understand and understand it at the end of the day. Today, I want to help you dismantle this Eurocentric claim so you can defend yourself and stand well. Listen, when they tell you that Ethiopia was occupied for 5 years, and that means that they were colonized, don't argue. Give them this point that Tankra is going to give you. I am the voice of Africa, and I'm about to teach you. Pay attention. You see, yes, Ethiopia was occupied, but for you to dismantle that Eurocentric lie, you must first go into what we call definition of terms. You have to define colonization and then you define occupation. So let us define this term so you can see where the lie lies. Pay attention. What is colonization? There are 5 things, 5 elements that makes colonization colonization. If these 5 elements are not existed, it is not colonization. What are these 5 elements? 1, for colonization to be colonization, first, there must be loss of sovereignty. You must lose your sovereignty. 2, there must be a long period of time foreign rule. Those people that invaded you must rule you for a long time. That is 2. 3, there must be a dismantling of indigenous political system. Your political system must be dismantled. That is the 3rd one. The 4th one is that there must be a cultural replacement. Your culture will be replaced. Your language will be replaced. You start wearing suit and not your clothes. And your food will change. There must be cultural replacement. The last, but not the least, is that there must be a foreign economic control. Your economy will be controlled externally. That is when you become a product of gumbo diplomacy and Machiavellian manipulation. These are the elements that makes colonization colonization. But what is occupation? Occupation is a temporary military control, usually during war, without a legitimate sovereignty. That is what happened in some part of Ethiopia between 1936 to 1941. It was not colonization. These are another point. Pay attention. You see, throughout that occupation, there was a political continuity in Ethiopia. Emperor Haile Selassie was never removed from power. He only went into exile. Ethiopia had a diplomatic mission abroad. Ethiopia was internationally recognized. Ethiopia was a member of League of Nations as early as 1923. Colonies do not become part of international bodies, but Ethiopia was a member, telling you Ethiopia was not a colony, but a sovereign state. Emperor Haile Selassie spoke and addressed League of Nations in 1936. A colony do not address the world as a sovereign voice, but Ethiopia did, because Ethiopia is not a colony, but a sovereign state. Listen, Ethiopia fought and restored the state of Ethiopia with the help of some allies in 1941. Ethiopia never stopped fighting. Ethiopia restored the state of Ethiopia. A colony do not restore itself. Most times, a colony is granted independence. But Ethiopia reinstated that part of Ethiopian state. And it wasn't decolonization. It was reinstated and not decolonized because Ethiopia was never colonized. Do you understand? So that you can understand. Because at the end of this lecture, you are expected to understand. Pay attention. Saying that Ethiopia was colonized because it was occupied for 5 years is a historical laziness. It is the same thing as saying that Britain colonized Germany, because in the World War II, Britain at some point occupied Germany. Saying that Italy colonized Ethiopia because it occupied it for 5 years is the same thing as saying that Germany colonized France, because Germany occupied France during the World War II. So there is no fact in that argument. You have to define terms for you to dismantle that lie. You need to look at the intent and the outcome. The intent for the occupation was to colonize, but the outcome never worked because Ethiopia was never colonized. And this is what makes Ethiopia very unique. Number one is that Ethiopia was attacked, but Ethiopia was not erased. Ethiopia was occupied, but Ethiopia was not owned, because occupation is not ownership. Ethiopia was invaded, but Ethiopia was not absorbed. Ethiopia was bruised, but Ethiopia was not broken. And that is why Ethiopia is the only African country that was not colonized. There is no lie anywhere. Before, they told us it was not colonized because it's not attractive. We dismantled that lie. Now they're telling us it was colonized because it was occupied. We have also dismantled that lie. Whatever lie they bring, truth is here to counter it. I now know that you will understand, because the best teacher in the world, the voice of Africa, have taught you. I love you and I care about you. Mind you, I am still teaching people how to be a good teacher and how to have a global voice using the social media. I love you and I care about you. Request for books, I will give you the one I have. Next week, I am going to a school to donate book to some schools in rural areas in this continent of Akebulan. Thank you for your support. Thank you for loving me. I love you so much and I care about you, Africa. Akebulan, wisdom is the principal thing. Aha!